So I'm riding Samba around here in a neck pillow. I told you I was going to try this. I'm trying to keep my head more in line with my belly button and the rest of my upper body, so I'm not constantly turning my head too much, which is my problem. And I think it's working pretty well. I couldn't wear my hat with it because it made the brim tip up in back and it covered up my face so I couldn't see. So I'm having to ride without my hat and get some extra vitamin D here. So what I'm doing with Samba here is we're just walking around in a circle. Right now we're doing some move out because she doesn't do that very well. And doing some stop and go. Just trying to get her a little more obedient. At this point where I'm asking for stop there. I'm trying not to pull on the reins. And see how she just dribbles all the time? I'm going to try to stop here. Yeah, and I had to raise the reins there because she just wouldn't stop moving her feet. She gets better as we go. And at this point, I've already been riding her for like 15 minutes before my husband turned the camera on. Now that was better. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Once she starts listening and paying attention, and she stops barging off, she just wants to keep going, she gets better.
You don't have a hat on.
Asking for stop.
Hope you got
Raised my
sunscreen
hands,
on.
but I didn't pull back, so she did lift her head a little bit. One strange thing I noticed about this was my saddle is off center. When I turn away from the camera, notice where the cantle of the saddle is on my bottom. It's way off to the right. And when I unsaddled Samba on this particular day, I noticed that the right side of her loins, the hair was all ruffled up. So I definitely was messed up in the way I put the saddle on in this particular day. I need to watch that. So she's trotting pretty well. She, just like Prairie, she likes going to the right better than she likes going to the left. And my husband thinks maybe that's a problem with me and not with the horses, which could very well be a factor. So here I'm asking her to trot on a circle to the left, and she falls in quite a bit. But this is all good. I'm noticing some things about Samba that I never noticed before, like this little falling in. And I'm starting to get a little better at catching it and steering her at a trot, asking her for move out, asking her for turn in when she's trotting. Usually I just kind of let her go where she wants to go, and she kind of generally stays on a circle. Now we're going to change the bend. And we do quite a bit of change of bend at the trot in this episode. I try to keep her, I want to get her kind of steady in a circle with her head down and everything before I ask her to switch the bend and go to the other circle. She's trotting for longer periods of time now. I think she went around in this circle maybe 3 or 4 times before
Uh,
she went down to a walk or a stop. So she's getting steady. If I break her concentration and say, "Good girl," she stops instantly. So there, after the stop, we're going to go to the circle to the left. And she's really cutting in on my bucket there. See how she wants to go to the right? Oh, I'm turning her to the left. And she says, "No, I'd rather go to the right." Okay. She's not trotting as consistently to the left. She wants to keep stopping. And I'm kind of letting her. I'm not making a big deal of it. Oh, there she wanted to go right again. Her head really popped up for some reason, and I raised my inside hand to ask her to put her head down again, which she did. Now I notice when she trots on a circle to the left, she likes to keep herself pretty much straight, sometimes even counterbent. So I asked her to do move out there. Now we're going to continue going on that left circle. A little correction there. She's quite a bit stiffer to the left than she is to the right. However, she's a lot easier to fix than Prairie. I can just give her a little more inside leg. I can ask her to move out, and she'll fix herself completely. Now you see how she swung her back end around to position herself to go right again around that bucket? That was very sneaky of her. So I asked her to do a little move out to get into position.
Both horses are doing it. Maybe it's you.
That's a good point. Yeah, it might be.
And we're going to continue to go on a circle to the left. And she says, "Oh, I would rather go to the right." Well, okay. See, she just doesn't trot as consistently to the left. I don't want to keep pestering her, but I do ask her for a trot a couple of times, and if she doesn't give it to me, I don't make a big deal of it. However, at the same time, I am starting to ask a little bit more of her than I have been before. Look how lovely she is just standing there. Yeah, so in order to make progress, I need to start asking more from her. So we're going a little bit longer in our sessions. I'm going shorter with Prairie, but longer with Samba. It's interesting trying to get the feeling of steering her at the trot, because there's a lot more motion going on, but I'm nudging her a little bit with my inside foot to ask her to move out away from the center of the circle. That inside leg is like magic for making her change her bend. Just a little touch and poof, she changes. Trying to keep my shoulders square. Now I'm giving her a little bit of move out. I wanted to position her in front of the camera so I could do a really spiffy looking turn in right in front of the camera. So I'm asking her to turn in, trying to move my whole body and not just my head. That was a terrible turn in. So I'm trying to stop her. Now this is another example of where I don't have a good follow-up.
Yeah.
Because I don't ask her for turn in. I do something else. That's a mistake. Now we're going to change.
That was good.
She did that pretty well. And I'm giving her a little inside leg to continue the bend around that bucket. Because otherwise she'll be kind of flat when she goes around. Now we're changing again. I'm going to keep her on this circle. Get her steady before we change again. Now we're going to change. I guess I spoke to her and she thought she was supposed to stop. I probably told her, good girl. So now we have another change coming up. And I'm trying not to overthink my aids too much for this. I'm trying to just let them be intuitive. But I think I changed kind of suddenly on her. And change again. And that was all good.
Okay.